All right, you're listening to wait, what am I doing? You're listening to On Deck presented by Amazing Met Zone. I'm your boy Phil from Shirley with my boy Drew Minotti 82. What up, Drew?
Know what's going on. Almost pretty much one and the same. Amazing Mets on deck.
Exactly. Yo, we the next 2 days, baby, we got a little Yankees Mets Subway Series. I love this time of year. I hate that it's not the 3 game series anymore, but with these little 2 game series, I feel like it puts so much emphasis on it. I know they're always during the week though, which kind of like I feel like hurts a little bit. But when you're in that stadium and you see these games, man, the buzz is there, and I can't wait, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, I like 3 game sets. They're always cool, but two-game sets, and it's usually in the summer too, so it's nice. Like have something to look forward to in the summer. The Yankee fans are going to troll the shit out of us, but let
Oh,
them, let them. I mean, this is the
oh,
best time to go on
we got some
a
tough
nice
pitching
little.
matchups too. We got to go against Cole and Luis Hill, bro. That these next 2 days,
Yeah,
we got Peterson on the
yeah,
mound, and I know the Yankees struggle with left-handers, but we win these. If we could split in this series versus these two big pitchers, man, that's a successful time. But bro, we take two. Woo-hoo-hoo.
yeah. I mean, Cole's just coming back, and he had 2 bad outings, man. He had two
Mhm.
really bad outings. So, yeah, I mean, and
Yep,
we're hitting. That's the thing, man. It's so nice to hit. All your problems get solved when you have offense.
100%.
So
100%. So, in honor of the Subway Series over the next 2 days, we're going to do our top five New York Met, New York Yankees. So that means they had to play for both the Yankees and Mets. All right. And I'm going to start with number five, my guy, one of my favorite players of all time, the great glove at third base, Robin Ventura. He had a very short stint with both teams, but one of the crazy Mets years, a couple years with 100 RBIs, and he also had a 2790 RBI season for the Yankees. So my number five guy, Robin Ventura.
yeah, it's a great one. And like you said, I tried, and we talked about this, that we tried to pick players that were in our lifetime, and played for decent amount of years for both teams. I didn't want someone like that played 1 year for one team and like 11 years for another team. So,
Mm-hmm.
I know my number five is one of my favorite players. He was originally from Oakland, Ricky Henderson. I
Mm.
just he was that guy, man. Like when I was growing up watching Ricky Henderson steal bases, and like now you hear more about like the person he was. Like he was just fucking hilarious. Like he was just like a movie star. And I always loved him. The fact that he played for the Mets, like that was cool. I know it wasn't like in his prime, but still, like he was still doing good. Um, so yeah, Ricky Henderson's my number five.
Love it, love it, love it. My number four, I'm gonna go with Carlos Beltran, man. Big years for the Mets. A lot of people, shit on him and they remember him for looking at strike three in that game seven NLCS. But he was probably one of the best free agent signings we've had in Mets history. The guy put up monumental years. Also, when he went to the Yankees, he was a clutch, good player. You know what I mean? Sometimes off the bench, and he was a good player. So my number four guy, Carlos Beltran. I feel like he gets a lot of hate, and he was a great ball player.
Yeah, man. I mean, everyone remembers him for holding the bat on his shoulder against St. Louis, but without Beltran, we're nowhere near where we are. Like in those playoff games in that regular season. That I mean, he probably had one of the best playoff seasons ever for Houston, but still, I mean, I love Beltran. I love Beltran. He's on my list, but he's not number four. Number
Mm-hmm.
four for me, the Grandy man. I
Ooh,
love Kurt. Uh,
ooh.
that like I felt like the Yankees kind of gave up on a little bit, and I thought he still had some good years with him. And just like the person he is off the field, he was always that guy who was a leader. He was like the guy that we needed on our team. And it's hard not to like him. Even when he was a Yankee, I felt like I liked Curtis Granderson. He's There's probably a lot of better players than him, but I just feel like something about him, and it's someone that I like. It's not like everyone's going to have a different number four, but Curtis is that guy.
Love it, love it. My number three, gotta go with the doctor, Dwight Gooden. My
Yeah.
probably, arguably, top three best pitcher in Mets franchise history. And then I know his Yankee career, wasn't nowhere near what it was his Met career, but he throws that no hitter. He pitches on two teams that win World Series. He was a guy in the rotation quality pitcher when he was a Yankee. So I got to go with my man Dwight, number three, Yankee Met.
Yeah, I mean, he was a stud. He was a stud. Like obviously, like you said, his better years with the Mets. Pitching a no hitter for the Yankees hurt a little bit, but still at the same time, seeing him have success was awesome. My number three is Beltran.
Mm.
You know, like I had to have him on the list. He's that guy that he's quiet. He just does his job, and people in New York don't really love that. But at the same time, if you're producing, you're producing. You know, and he did for both teams. I feel like when he went to the Yankees, I was a little upset. But it was one of those guys that I feel like I always fell in love with, and like you said, that to get him in that trade was huge. We weren't getting guys like that then, and
Mhm.
like him come over and make a difference right away for our team, like that was huge in my lifetime.
No, I agree. I agree. My number two actually was your number four, Curtis Granderson, man. The Grandy man. Love Curtis Granderson. Couple 40 home run seasons for the Yankees. Comes to the Mets, couple 30 home run seasons for the Mets. He's a guy that did it in both places. I love Grandy, like you said, off the field, just tremendous character. But just one of those guys you want on your team, man. I know his averages like always took a dip. He was like a 230, 240 average guy, but had some pop, bro, and played a good center field. Like I said, 40 homers for the Yanks, 100 RBIs, 30 homers, and like 90, 80 RBIs for the Mets. I think one season he had like 60 something because he was a leadoff man. But the Grandy man that's my number two.
Yeah, he would do anything for any he's just one of those guys you want on a team, without a doubt. My number two is Strawberry. I
Ooh,
mean,
ooh.
you know, not much really to say about him as a Yankee, but still as a Met, and I almost forgot about him on this list. I was like, holy shit, how am I forgetting about Darryl Strawberry to put on this list? I mean, just what he did with the Mets kind of obviously sticks out of my mind and had to put him on this list.
See that, and you leads me right into my number one, Daryl. The greatest home run hitter the Mets have ever had, with the exception of Pete Alonso now. And just I remember him as a Yankee when I was growing up. But that to me, that he was more Yankee because I missed those times as a Met. You know what I mean? And he just was a fighter, bro. I remember so many brawls that they had, clutch home runs. I remember the Armando Benitez hitting Tino Martinez. Uh, Dow runs out, and then that whole beef when he goes in the dugout. One of the greatest fights. If you haven't seen it, it's a must look up for people. Orioles Yankees in '96. One of the greatest fights. But yeah, Darryl, bro, just clutch, good player for those Yankee teams. Feel like he won 4 rings with them. He was on 96, 98, 99, 2000. So just
Yep.
great player.
Yeah, he was a glue guy. He was maybe not the guy that would go out there every night, but still, like you said, would stick up for his guys, and he was still a good ball player. And you gave me an idea for another top five, top fights in baseball
Ooh,
history.
I love that. Love that.
Number one is Doc. It's hard not to put him on this list. We talked about him already. What he did for the Mets, and his historic game for the Yankees. Just a class act, and we're not just saying that because he's one of our friends, which is weird to say. But yeah, Doc Gooden's the best, man. He was that guy. He was that guy, and I know he wanted to go back to the Mets. He tells that story about wanting to be a Met again, but the Yankees giving him a shot. And I think David Cohn went down, and he got called up, called and put on, and he didn't disappoint. So yeah, Doc Gooden's my number one.
Love it. Love
Matt,
it. A lot of honorable mentions. David Cohn, you know what I mean? Guys like Todd Zeal.
yeah,
I remember Miguel
Can,
Cairo, loser guys like that. There's so
I
many guys that have played on both teams. We want to hear your top five. Give us in the comments, Yankees, Mets. And hey, let's go Mets, baby, these next 2 days. Let's take
yeah,
two.
fuck the Yankees,
Whose town is it?
Flushing, baby.